change. And we announced yesterday a relationship and a collaboration between President Biden's PGI program around renewable energy and our own Africa Green Industrialization Initiative. We had a robust conversation with President Biden on how America can lead the way in the reform of the international financial architecture so that Africa, countries like Kenya, countries in the global south, low-income countries can have access to concessional financing so that we can eliminate the high interest rates and work with a fairer international financial architecture. These are things that will benefit Kenya, yes, but it will also benefit countries in Africa and countries in the global south. So these are our interests.
Your trip comes at a very turbulent time in the world, and the United States is central to this turbulence that is playing out in the Middle East. There's growing public outrage over what is happening in Gaza, in Rafah. The International Court of Justice ordered an immediate ceasefire and a withdrawal from Rafah by Israel. A couple of days ago, the International Criminal Court issued arrest warrants for Hamas and, of course, some leadership of Israel, including the Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu. When you first came into office, one of your first stops, if not your first stop, was to Israel in May 2023. You described your relationship with Israel as being fruitful, as being strong, as being friendly. But in light of these developments, have you changed your mind? Are they still a friend?
Israel is a great friend of Kenya. And we believe that that should go into the future. We made a very clear statement when Israel was attacked that it was wrong. We have also made a very clear statement when there were excesses in the use of force, when children were attacked, when there were atrocities, committed against the people of Palestine. We made a very strong statement that was also wrong, because two wrongs cannot amount to a right. And we are firm in our belief of two things: that the situation in Middle East, the situation in Gaza, cannot be solved using military means. That's number one. And number two, we also are of the firm belief that a two-nation solution is the way to go. We believe in self-determination. We believe in the existence of Israel as a nation and as a friend, but we also believe in the existence of Palestine as a state. And that is our position. And we will not walk away from that. That has been Kenya's position. That continues to be Kenya's position.
At the United Nations, it's true that you voted 3 times for a ceasefire. The United States blocked that move, so there's a misalignment between you and the United States on that. You also voted recently for the recognition of the Palestinian state. You've spent a lot of time with President Biden. It's all very well to say we believe in the two-state solution, but when you are sitting with him, are you pushing strongly for an end to this calamity in the Middle East, since the United States is seen as being central? It can stop this calamity with the sale of arms. It is perpetuating this calamity. Did you say anything about that?
The position of Kenya is known. It is not for me to decide.
You are sitting with him in the room.
It is not for me to decide the position of the United States of America.
Can we not tell your friends not to support a genocide?
And our position has been very clear when it comes to a two-state solution. It is not a position that we acquired yesterday. It is a position that has been and continues to be Kenya's position, irrespective of the positions of other countries, because we prosecute our own agenda, we speak for ourselves, we think for ourselves, and we drive our own
Mr. President, you are in the capital
globally.
of the world, in the most powerful capital in the world. You've got international aid organizations pleading and crying for help. We are seeing mass graves, children being starved and emaciated. You are here right now at this pivotal, significant political moment. Surely it's not enough to say we as Kenya call for a two-state solution when you are sitting with the man whose country is selling arms to Israel. Why not leverage your proximity and your advantage to appeal for reason?
Let me tell you, my sister, Kenya has done its bit. We have taken the firmest position when our alliance, when our interests converge with the United States, we stand together. When they don't, we stand separately. But that does not mean we become enemies. That does not mean it affects our friendship. It's just because it is what it is.
Well, you clearly are the United States' favorite partner then, because it has threatened anyone who stands against it, even Congress here introducing bills to punish countries, to punish the International Criminal Court. But for some reason, you are escaping that kind of censor. Does that indicate that you are not pushing hard because you are allies with Israel and you are nursing these relationships even in the face of such catastrophe?
That's your opinion, and it doesn't necessarily reflect what Kenya stands for. As I have told you, we are very firm in our belief on a resolution of the conflict in Gaza, not by military means. We do not support what is going on in terms of women, children, mass graves. And we have made our position very clear. And secondly, there are countries who don't believe in a two-state solution for the Middle East. We do, and we are unapologetic about it because we believe that is the right position. Right. Israel must exist as a state, and they are our friend, but Palestine too must exist as a state.
It's hard to imagine how Palestine can exist with this obliteration that we have seen playing out live on television and social media. I want to move on to Sudan, another crisis that demands desperate attention. In fact, African leaders have been criticized of not doing enough. Kenya has done a lot for civilians who have been displaced in Sudan. You played a key role early on in the negotiations, trying to bring the two sides together, but you were accused of being a little too friendly with the RSF commander, Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo. That whole situation resulted in you, as Kenya, being accused of being biased. It led to Sudan being so angry that it withdrew its ambassador from Kenya. So I want to ask you, are you biased in that relationship? And have you lost an opportunity to bring lasting peace and stability?
To be fair, we have done the best that we could. There are people who would have wanted us to take sides. And unfortunately, Kenya is not known for taking sides. Kenya has a long history with Sudan. We worked with Sudan in the challenges they had for almost 30 years. In fact, Kenya was the country that eventually brought about the comprehensive peace agreement that established, working with the United States, working with the Troika, that established South Sudan as a country today. We were in the middle of the negotiations. In fact, most of the negotiations were carried out in Kenya because we are not only fair, but we have the necessary acumen to facilitate consultations.
But that's the past. Now, are you a trusted broker there? Because Sudan clearly doesn't think so if it's going to withdraw its ambassador because you met with Hemeti.
I am telling you, Al-Burhan visited me in Nairobi. Hemeti visited me in Nairobi. Both of them, I have had a thorough and clear engagement with them. What the one side is accusing me is, why did I meet Hemeti? But, I know too well from experience that if you want to make peace, you don't speak with friends, you speak with enemies. And you speak to all sides. So it is not possible for us to move forward and make peace if we don't speak to both sides. Let me take it forward. We invited both sides to an IGAD meeting in Uganda. Only Hemeti showed up. And when Hemeti showed up, the other side said they now want to pull out of IGAD because Hemeti showed up. So you cannot continue to run away from your adversary. You will never resolve the problem. So Kenya was accused to be biased. Now IGAD is being accused of being biased because we want to listen to everybody. And I want to promise you that we're not giving up on Sudan. I was putting together the former Prime Minister and the various combatants who are even non-signatories of the Juba Agreement so that we can begin to consolidate the civil society, the political parties, to support and push the peace process in Sudan. It is my position that both generals must stop the war. And we must tell them unequivocally that the war in Sudan is senseless. The carnage, the loss of life, the humanitarian crisis, the displacement of people, the death of the closure, the destruction of Khartoum is unacceptable. And it is not time for any one of them to play holy or to play superior or to point fingers. Both sides have committed crimes, and we need to sit them down and find a solution and to tell them with clarity that there is no military solution in sight for the problem we have in Sudan. They need to sit down. We need to mobilize the civil society. We need to mobilize political parties, and that's what Kenya is doing. We need to mobilize women groups. We need to mobilize the youth to speak to their country, because in any case, the revolution that removed al-Bashir was a people's revolution. It was unfortunately hijacked by military men, people with guns, and took it to the ditch and messed up the country and caused hell that Sudan is today.
Let's talk about another hot potato, Haiti. Yes, here we are. You are leading the mission to send, over 1,000 police officers to Haiti to try and stabilize that country, the gang violence, the kidnappings, and so on. But the history of Haiti and U.S. involvement is not irrelevant there. There's a history of failed international peacekeeping missions led by the U.S. and the United Nations. Haitians themselves are very anxious and not trusting of such missions. The U.S. is contributing more than $300 million, and those opposed to this see this as an extension of the troublesome U.S. hand in Haitian affairs, and that Kenya is somehow being used as a proxy to further the interests of the U.S. there. What is the basis for your confidence given the history?
This is not the first mission Kenya is engaged in. We have been in 47 other missions around the world, including in very difficult places like Kosovo. We have built experience, we have built understanding, and I am very confident that Kenya has what it takes to be able to handle the situation in Haiti. Number two, we also believe that the responsibility rests with countries like Kenya and others that believe in democracy, in freedom, in the rule of law, and in peace. And we believe that the same way we need peace and security in Kenya, and in all the other places we have supported peace and security, so does the people in Haiti. And the reason why Kenya has been called upon to participate and to take lead in Haiti is because it's difficult. That's the reason. If it wasn't difficult, maybe other countries would have been asked to do it.
Is Kenya the right country to do it, given that your own police force have been accused of extrajudicial killings at home, police brutality? Human rights groups are criticizing the human rights records of police in Kenya. 136 extrajudicial killings in the past year. They're not up to the task.
Our history in peacekeeping our history in peacemaking is up to scrutiny. Anybody can judge what Kenyans have done, both within and without. When I came into office, I made a commitment that there will never be any extrajudicial killings in Kenya. And that is the case.
But you supported the police when they cracked down on protesters.
And I intend to keep it that way.
Did you not support the police?
Any police, men or women, who use extra constitutional means that are not provided for, we have an independent police oversight authority that have taken policemen to court. Our record is straight, and I have enhanced the capabilities of our policemen, the judicial system. We have worked with the Chief Justice. In fact, I just swore in 20 extra judges. In fact, in my 1.5 years in office, I have recruited 46 additional judges to make sure that the criminal justice system is up to the mark, to make sure that everybody, including the police, operate within the parameters of the law. Everybody must be accountable, starting with the president, must be accountable. We must live within the parameters of the law. That is why even this deployment was taken to court by Kenyans. But let me tell you, the cabinet has approved. Both houses of parliament, people's representatives, have approved. The police service commission, they are on board. The court have made representation. In fact, when people went to court, the court said the deployment must happen, but it must happen in a certain way. And we delayed the deployment until we complied with the law, with the court orders. So we are a country that believes in the rule of law, and it is what underpins even the relationship that we have with the United States of America. And let me give you one more point. Just 3 weeks ago, I operationalized the Public Benefits Organizations Act that will give civil society organizations more latitude in making sure that they hold government to account. And they point out when citizens' rights are being violated. It is because we are a country that believes in the rule of law. It is the reason that we are doing what we are doing, because it is the right thing. So I am very confident that our deployment in Haiti does not only meet the requirements of the law, that I can confirm, let me put it that way, that our police are professional enough to be able to discharge their responsibilities. They've done it in 47 different countries around the world. They will do it in Haiti.
Mr. President, we've run out of time. Let me thank you very much for speaking to us here on South to North Al Jazeera. Thanks indeed.
Thank you very much.